Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Elite Force 2 commentary.
On Stardate 483-15.6, the USS Voyager vanished from known space. It was transported 70,000 light-years across the galaxy and cut off from Starfleet. To protect the ship from the unexplored Delta Quadrant, Chief of Security Tuvok created an elite strike force, the Hazard Team. After 7 years, Captain Janeway found a shortcut home, the Borg Transwarp Hub. Armed with technology from the future, Voyager attacked the Borg Armada and hurtled into an unstable transwarp conduit, heading for the Alpha Quadrant. But the Borg Queen had other plans. A Borg sphere captured Voyager and imprisoned the ship in a dampening field. Lieutenant Alex Monroe and the Hazard Team would have to sabotage the Borg sphere. The Hazard Team would free Voyager's crew or watch them be assimilated.
I mean, I would have just watched. Been like, sucks to be you.
So, Eric, what episode of Voyager does this take place?
This is the finale of Voyager Endgame. After Voyager pretty much blew up the Transwarp hub and was hurtling back to the Alpha Quadrant, a Borg sphere was in pursuit.
The Borg will not attack you until you prove to be a threat.
So
that should give you time to reach subjunction 37,
after Endgame.
You'll find the 3 dampening field generators.
But before Nemesis.
Let's go.
Well, during Endgame and before Nemesis.
Today, there's too much anti-lepton interference.
Just boost the signal.
That's dangerous.
Commander Tuvok, Hazard Team requests permission to get going.
Tuvok's not silent here because he's thinking. He just is trying to get beyond Monroe's delivery right there. How corny it was.
Boost the containment. That's dangerous. Oh, well then,
To get out of here.
let's just wait and see what happens when the Borg get aboard.
Nice little effect that they used in First Contact.
First Contact completely reimagined the Borg from being these white guys with like hoses wrapped around them to these zombie robots in space.
It's a nice little camera trick. It's funny how in Elite Force 1 you start off on a Borg cube, and Elite Force 2 you start off on a Borg sphere.
I thought Elite Force 1 was a tutorial on the Borg.
Chell.
It is, but still a Borg cube.
Monroe to Tuvok. Where's the rest of my team?
Chell here. What a rough ride. I think I have transporter shock.
Status.
The interference must have separated us. We're lucky it didn't...
Status, Chell.
Unharmed, but queasy. My tricorder located you. I'll meet you in...
Chell, report.
Just my luck. Force fields. I'm trapped.
We'll find you. Monroe out. Stay close, Jane.
And here we are, the first level of the game.
Ignore them.
I'm scouting out
Yes,
the
you don't have to shoot the Borg. You can just walk by them until they start opening fire. In order to open up these green doors, you have to destroy the Borg distribution nodes. Well, no, I'm sorry, they're force field. The distribution nodes or something else, and they can attack you. And, so just be wary of that. That once you unlock the doors, they will start becoming hostile.
It's like they're most associated with a beehive. Unless you startle or disturb the bee's nest, they'll ignore you.
Cover me.
Once you start pissing them off, they're coming after you.
Yes, there's a cutscene even for a small elevator sequence like that.
I want to make sure you go down properly.
Now, it doesn't mean every cutscene. It doesn't mean every time they go in an elevator that happens. That's interesting.
Monroe, over. I can't modulate this
So
yellow
here's
force
Shell
field
again.
from here. Use your
He hasn't
tricorder on that
changed
control panel.
from the first game. He's pretty much the same. Annoying, just there to be a nervous wreck.
Oh, comic relief.
The force field's down. Thanks.
Yeah, with no Biff, it doesn't matter. Now, in order to find some of these places, you do kind of have to think outside the box and pretty much destroy the wall and crawl. That's the thing I really do like about the old Raven games, really, back old Quake games is that it kind of goes against conventional game design. And what I mean by that, not conventional, I mean more of like modern, like what's happening now, is that when you find an area, you kind of just think you can't touch the walls. But these kind of games, they kind of want you to jump on every single thing, even things that you wouldn't do in real life. So it's pretty cool. Like, you wouldn't jump on a few certain things or crawl on things that this game wants you to do. Now we did get past it, but if you do blow up certain areas like that one, earlier, yeah, it's a secret little trophy of a starship, which looks like the Excelsior class. It's the only secret in this level. Now luckily, when you do leave in level, you can actually turn back and get the secrets before you want to move on to the next area. So if you get to the end and see that you're missing something, nothing's stopping you from going back.
Voyager.
Trapped.
I wish I was back there, recalibrating antimatter containment fields.
Okay.
Shell, you're trying to get home.
Maybe she was just sitting around while the Borg attacked instead of trying to save
These
it.
are iMods. The Borg can't adapt to them.
Oh, my crunch. I love you.
Monroe! Chang!
Cutscenes are a little more active now in comparison.
Our iMods. The Borg must be jamming them.
Monroe to Voyager. The Borg took Chang. Beam him out.
His signal is too weak. Find him and eliminate nearby sources of interference, possibly force fields.
Understood. Chell, locate Chang.
I've sent his location to your tricorder. He's in a maturation chamber for assimilation.
How do you know all that?
Telsia
And how come I couldn't do that?
I found a Borg relay node. Accessing their computer system.
Good. The Borg took Chang. We'll find you after he's safe.
Like, we can never get through a Borg area without getting assimilated.
Well, yes.
I was always wondering if this game came out before or after the show. I assume it came out after, like after Voyager ended, because if I'm correct, I think the final Star Trek movie, Nemesis, came out a year after this game.
I don't know, because Data's not even in this.
Chang is below us.
And
this
actually
game-
nobody's on the Enterprise anymore, so I kind of thought it was after
Stay
Nemesis.
here and operate the
Yeah,
lift.
when we get there,
I'll
you'll
get
notice
Chang.
that there's only one actor who's there.
Who, Barkley?
Well, yeah, two actually, but yes, everyone else is not there.
Well, Riker and Troy left, Crusher left. Geordi, I thought, stayed. Worf, I don't know. I thought he left.
I think in reality for this game, actually, wait, hold on, I'll get back to that.
Didn't I order you to stay close? Get out.
I'm dying, Moreau.
I'm shutting this force field down.
Funny, man.
Don't go anywhere.
I felt like an idiot because I didn't remember where it was, even though it's right to the right of me, right from where the force field was. Now in this game, they do introduce a time limit, as you can tell from the left-hand side. If you don't make it to whatever your goal is when that bar hits the end, you will get a game over. So keep that in mind.
I mean, it's only Chang.
Well, I mean, it comes up often, so not just this one level.
Like the Raphael of this group.
As I was saying before, though, this game, the real reason why they don't have the other actors recording this game is that it would have been way too expensive, so they had to, compromise. That's why I guess, back then, again, the whole cast of Voyager was just easier, but at this point it wasn't. But at the same time, Voyager's cast, and honestly, was not as large in comparison to the Next Generation.
Next Generation went to movies, and once you go movies, you become expensive.
This is what I mean by slowing down the game. Like it's cool, but you do this very often to open doors, to get things to work, and just progress. And just like in the first game, they will adapt, and it gets really annoying because since your iMods don't work, you will run out of weapons to use. Now luckily you can switch between the first fire and the second fire, but at one point they will adapt to both. though. Just, I really don't think there's a way to avoid that.
Okay,
I mean,
Joe.
you have to move on,
Yes,
move
sir.
along in the game.
Ensign Chang is safe. Locate Ensign Murphy and complete your primary objective.
Eddie Murphy? Can you imagine?
That'd be weird.
Nice job, Monroe.
Let's go find Telsia.
I heard what you said to Chang about, you know, staying put, man. That was kind of dickish.
Couldn't help it, that board came out of nowhere.
Just like in the first game, the board cubes are pretty generic looking. Nothing spectacular.
I mean, it's a cube.
Access their
It is. It's just in terms of level design, it's
Telsia's ahead.
straightforward. Nothing. I mean, it's not confusing. Well, I mean, it can get confusing because everything looks the same, but nothing visually interesting. Like you wouldn't look at this and go, "Wow, this is gorgeous."
Telsia.
Can you disable this force field?
I was trying to destroy the nodes up there.
I'm retrieving
but
the
I couldn't.
location of the generators. This can't be good.
She's trapped in there.
Now they do be being behind her, but I decided to move ahead because if you don't get here in time, because her health goes down really fast, you will have to start over again.
Lucky the board can't crawl.
Yeah, luckily. And they have these distribution nodes and all that very close by. Well, that's not a node. It's a power generator. I did shoot a node earlier. The nodes are perfect, but they did shut off. Now here's the love interest from the first game, well, Telsia, even though we saw her a few seconds ago.
Thanks, Monroe. I've found the dampening field generators. They're up in subjunction 37 near the Borg central plexus.
Good job.
They beamed in right after I decrypted
Their
data
eyes look
about
really
neutron
odd in this
technology.
game. I mean, it's just the models, but they look a little too wide.
Shooting up the place.
That means they classified us as a threat. This just got messy.
I thought it was their mouths are too wide.
We need to get on the lift to subjunction 37. I fed the location to your tricorder.
Shoot him! Shoot him!
Now this power node, I couldn't find it the first time around. I actually got lost. I didn't see it.
Yes, admit to your mistakes, Kurt.
Well, I mean, I feel like an idiot, but at the same time, it's like, really? Why?
Shoot him in the face.
I guess the problem there is, I will admit that was my fault, but if it didn't blend in with everything, I would have seen it easier.
Could use your tricorder.
Shut up.
In the face!
He just woke up and disintegrated.
Hey man, how you doing? Ah! Dead.
Over there!
Your aim is horrible.
Yes, it is. Put them right next to each other, like the worst place to do that.
Well, I mean, I really don't think anybody's gonna beam aboard and start shooting it.
Yeah, that's true. No, I haven't seen the last episode of Voyager in a long time, so I can't remember. Did they really get trapped in a sphere?
They entered the sphere, but you made it... The way they filmed it, you kind of got the impression they planned on it, because Voyager itself would not have withstood the force or the pressure of the collapsing tunnel. So they're like, hey, what if we hit in the sphere and let the sphere take all the damage while we kind of do stand aside? In this game, it was like, oh, they were captured, we gotta free them, stuff's gonna happen, we gotta save the world. People are on the Borg sphere.
And we'll catch you all in part 3.